second Google Cloud return for Mr. Fernandez?
I did.
And here is the contact list. Was Mr. Tenon a contact in Mr. Fernandez's Google return in the second return law enforcement received?
No, he was not.
I want to talk to you about some analysis you did of deletion data in Mr. Fernandez's Google account. Are you able to go into someone's Google return and see if they have deleted data from their Google account?
Yes.
Can you describe to the jury where you look and how you find that?
Sure. So within the Google return, there's a folder called My Activity that contains information about activity associated with the account for different Google products. So there'll be Chrome data in there, search data. There's also a folder titled Deletion Markers. And within that folder, there is a file that contains the records of the deletions process from the account.
Did you pull spreadsheet reports of the Google deletion data in Mario Fernandez's Google returns?
Yes.
I'm going to start by showing you what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 202. And this looks like Greek to me, but can you explain to us what this shows?
So this primary file, based on my understanding, contains information about bulk deletions of data or mass deletions of data. So this would be if a user requests the entirety of their search history to be deleted, the entirety of their YouTube history to be deleted. Google refers to them as corpus deletions.
And these specific exhibits, did you pull Google deletion for a specific time frame?
I reviewed all of the Google deletions that were available.
In coming to understand and learn how to interpret these records, have you personally yourself had training or conversations with members of Google in order to understand and interpret these records?
I did speak with members of Google's law enforcement team, yes.
I'm going to turn your attention to State's Exhibit 213, which is the secondary database of Google deletion records. Can you explain to the jury what is contained in, based on your experience and your conversations with the Google law enforcement team, what's contained in this database?
So column A is going to be the date and time in UTC, that's what that Z means, that the deletion was processed from the account. The column B has the original event timestamp, so the date and time of the original record that's being deleted. And column C has the product associated with the deletion in that row.
And here in the secondary database, we see that there was a total of 11,511, well, 510 if we take out the top, deletion markers. But I want to ask you about specific time frame. Did you look at deletion markers for a specific time frame in this case?
I mapped all of the deletions, and when I did that, it allowed me to focus in on a more specific time frame.
Was there a statistical, I won't say outlier, but something of statistical significance to you when you mapped the deletion of the Google records?
Yes.
And have you prepared a chart showing that deletion rate over time?
Yes.
And does that chart fairly and accurately show the data when it's mapped out in terms of the volume?
Yes.
I'm showing you what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 215. This is a Google deletion data by processed date chart. And can you explain to the jury what we're seeing here?
Sure. So this is using the secondary database that we just viewed, or the secondary spreadsheet that we just viewed. And it is breaking down the number of processed deletions by date for the entire time period that we had records for.
And as a data analyst looking at this chart, what stood out to you as being of potentially evidentiary value?
March 1st of 2022.
And why did that date stand out to you?
Because there were over 5,000 processed deletions on that date.
And was the date, did you look at the time and date range of these deletions?
I did.
When they started and when they ended? And can you give the jury an idea of when they began?
Sure. So for the March 1st date specifically, the deletions started early in the morning, approximately 06:11 hours. And I'm not sure exactly when they ended, but the bulk of the deletions on that day were at 06:11.
And during your work on this case, was there something significant in the investigation that occurred on March 1st of 2022?
Yes.
What was that?
That was the date that Mr. Fernandez and Ms. Gardner were interviewed by Jacksonville Beach Police for the first time.
And to your knowledge, Mr. Fernandez spoke to Jacksonville Beach Police on February 28th to arrange to come in on March 1st for his interview.
I believe that the contact was made through Ms. Gardner, who then contacted Mr. Fernandez.
And are these deletions prior to when he would have arrived at the Jacksonville Beach Police Department for his interview?
Yes.
Speaking of February 28th into March 1st, 2022, when you were reviewing Mr. Fernandez's Google return, did you also find internet searches that appeared to be of evidentiary value?
Yes.
Can you explain what those were?
Sure. So in the evening of February 28th, this would be at approximately 6:02 p.m., around that time there were multiple records that indicated that there were searches or viewing of maps associated with areas in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as well as North Carolina.
And did you also review and obtain evidence related to cell site data from Agent Blythe that Mr. Fernandez had driven to North Carolina and then Pennsylvania after his interview with police at the Jacksonville Beach Police Department beginning March 2nd?
Yes.
Did you do any investigation into the nature of that trip and look up any toll records or financial records related to his trip to North Carolina and Pittsburgh?
Yes, I did.
Can you describe for the jury what records you reviewed?
I reviewed toll records. I reviewed financial records that came back. I reviewed receipts that were obtained by the detectives, among other things.
And what stood out to you from your review of those records as being potentially of evidentiary value?
In North Carolina, it appeared that Mr. Fernandez visited a Walmart and purchased what could be described as toiletry items. And then as he continued his trip up north, there were multiple phone calls to hotels in the Pittsburgh area and ultimately a reservation that was made.
And how many nights did he make a reservation for at a hotel in Pittsburgh?
2 nights.
And how many, according to your review of toll records and the cell site records, how many nights did he actually stay?
1 night.
And let's talk about a little bit about the phone activity during this time frame. From March 2nd to March 6th. Particularly on that March 6th, that day that he came back, was he communicating with anybody of significance in the investigation?
He